What's going on, everybody? Welcome to tkanddrinks. It's Sunday again, so you know what that means. What's the story? Another interview this week with a mead maker and mead maker combo, however you want to call that. I always feel so weird saying the same thing two different ways. But this week, we're going to have the cats from Dysfunctional Delights there, and I believe it's Lebanon, Ohio. Can never remember. It's Lebanon. I'm sure I'll be corrected, but anyway, thanks for being here. You know me, I'm your host, TK. So go ahead and make sure to follow me on the Instagram, follow me on Facebook, hit me up, tkanddrinks@gmail.com if you got any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this Mead interview today with the cats from Dysfunctional Delights. I believe that's Brad and Jamey. Oh, looks like they're popping in right now. Let's see what we got. Biggity bang. There we go. Connecting to audio, maybe. There we go. We got the audio connected.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. All right.
See if I can't reorient this video here. Uh-oh. Nope. Not letting me change that. Let's see here. Full screen view. There we go. Oh, hey, that works too. Go old school with it. Right on. So, thank you guys for being here today. I'm TK. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Can you hear me okay, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah, right on. So I was just giving a little introduction for my video series. If you wanted to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Brad Ryles with Dysfunctional Delights Meadery. This is my wife, Jamey.
Awesome. Could you turn your volume up a little bit by chance? Maybe, hopefully.
Any better?
There we go. Sounded much better. I like all the birds in the background there. It's very
yeah.
oriented.
Daggone birds.
You guys have a lot of birds?
We got two, but they're noisy ones to cover them up real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't have to quiet them down. I love the ambience. I love that on my show. Dogs in the background, cats. I got a room full of kittens right now. You might see running around in the background here, so totally cool with me. But so I just stumbled upon you guys. Let me introduce myself again. My name is TK, and I don't know if you've seen any of my videos or not, but I'm a aspiring BJCP judge, meat advocate, and just general mead interested guy on the internet, trying to explore and expose as many people to mead as I can. And I stumbled across you guys last year on Instagram when you guys were posting about coming out and everything like that. Saw your bottle designs and label designs and your quirky, cool personalities on the social media and stuff, and thought it'd be a good time to talk to you guys. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So a little bit of backstory about you guys. The name of your meadery is Dysfunctional Delights. Where'd that name come from?
A few ways it came from. I originally was going to open a bakery. I was going to call it Dysfunctional Delights Bakery, and it never did come to fruition. And it's been about 10, 11 years ago. I was also a home brewer at the time, making meads, and I always liked the names. And we're both divorced, have children, dysfunctional family together, so the name kind of stuck, and we decided to open the meadery as the same name. So we're Dysfunctional Delights Meadery.
Very cool. I like that. I like that, like a little historical background there. And so you guys have been commercial just for not very long now, right?
Right.
Yep. We originally were supposed to be open back in March, but our final inspection was the day the state closed, so we didn't get open until November of last year.
Yeah, I was reading that online in one of your posts. Tell me a little more about that. That had to have been just agonizing.
We were actually sitting in the meadery about 30 minutes before our inspection. The governor came on TV, closed the state down. We get a call from our inspector, and they said, "Hey, we can't come out and do your final inspection. We'll reschedule at a later date."
Right.
That didn't happen for a very, very long time. Had to actually call some other state involved people and have them get involved before we could actually get that done finally. So we didn't get it open our doors until November 3rd.
Man, so that's a good 7 months delay. That's horrible. But
Oh, yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
so were you still moving forward as if you were going to be open already? Was still as far as like producing batches and promoting yourself or anything?
We couldn't really put anything in the fermenters during that time because the final inspection, the tanks have to be empty.
Yep.
So we were kind of just sitting and waiting. So it was a very, very, very hurtful time. Like I said, the state doesn't really understand that, rent don't stop, bills don't stop. So they just kept putting us off, which I understand COVID was a situation they never seen before, but it wasn't very helpful to a small business.
No, I would imagine not. So you had everything planned to be open in March, get pushed all the way back to November. So over the course of the summer and the fall and everything like that, going into winter, you're seeing your state close down and open back up and all these different regulations. When you guys opened in November, were you allowed to have like your tasting room open, or was it just like to go only?
When they finally let us open in November, we were allowed to have our tasting room open. It's limited capacity, which it's fine as long as alternate people in and out. That was fine. But we also had worked and we were doing online sales at the same time because when we saw the state close, we were like, well, we don't know what the future's going to hold. So we went ahead and signed up for the company called Vino Shipper.
Right.
So when we did open the tasting room, we also opened our online sales the same day. So that helped some. So.
I was going to say, have you seen a huge response on Vino Shipper, or at least
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's getting better and better. So.
Very cool. So you guys, one of the things that drew me to you and made me want to reach out to you is I saw you guys had made a post back in April called the Help Save the Dream post, where you were basically laid it all out there for everybody. Look, this is what it is. No holds barred. This is our situation. We're not asking for a hand up, but if you could just buy some mead, come by, do whatever you can. How I thought that was very honest and very cool, you guys, to reach out. How receptive was your online audience to that?
Oh, the community's been great. They've helped us where we can breathe for a moment. We're not completely out of the woods, but we are a lot better positioned than we were at that time. It was very hard to admit that, as a business owner, but we really did need help at the time, and the community responded very well, and they continue to respond, so it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
We appreciate everything people did. So.
Man, so you guys probably had to jump forward a lot of different things you might not have planned to push out, say, as far as like the Vino Shipper. And do you guys have like a bottle club or anything like that you did? Or these?
Yeah, we have a very small bottle club. It's we have 98 members. So.
Oh wow, yeah, that was very small. 98 lucky members, I'm sure.
Yeah, we appreciate every one of them too. So.
Yes. So one of the other things that had drawn me to you guys is you have a very unique set of artwork for your different series of meads. Almost like you have that one series called Kill a Apple, and it's like gangster-looking apple with this mean mug in his face. He's got a trench coat on, brass knuckles and TNT and all that. Where'd you come up with that design? That's so unique. I love it.
We got very lucky. There's a local label artist here. He actually works with a few other places, Unimpossible Meads and Arrowhead Ales in Chicago. And he reached out to me and he said, you're local to me. I would really like to work with you. And I was like, well, let's try it and see what can happen. Gave him one of our batches and said, see what you can do with it. And he came back with his artwork for Big Boy Blueberry Beatus, and I fell in love with it. And I said, well, you now have all of our artwork. I definitely want to put your artwork on our label. So now he takes care of all of our labels. His name's Matthew Ryan Sharp. He actually, just for his beer labels and canning production with Arrowhead Ales, just won an award for it. So he's very, 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 very talented.
No kidding. That's freaking awesome. So do you have a background in home brewing? Is that, I'm assuming, you started?
Yeah, I've been homebrewing meads for 10 years plus, easy. First batches were terrible. Like as anybody, you stumble through it and you realize things you don't know as you go along the way. But my first batches were like gasoline, not anything worth drinking.
Is there?
I've slowly improved, but still ways to go. But I think we're putting out a decent product at this point. So.
Yeah. What would be your worst one, would you say? If you said some of them were like gasoline, is there one that sticks out as just like, no, this was just hands down the one that was the worst?
The very first batch I ever did, I tried to do it was a sweet cherry, which is, if anybody knows cherries, you don't use sweet cherries in mead. I didn't know that. And it was I used it was a champagne yeast. I didn't really do much investigating what kind of yeast you use in meads, and it took off. The temperature wasn't controlled. By the time it got off, it was so fusel. It was very hard to drink. The smell in the nose, I mean, it smelled like you're rubbing alcohol. It was pretty bad.
Well, there's got to be a counter to that. You know, there's got to be one that sticks out that was your favorite, that's something that you would love to reproduce again in the future. You know, what would be your favorite one from the archives?
Favorite one from the archives? Actually, it would be a tie between either the Killer Apple series, which was the Killer Apple Pie. I've redone that in the barrel age and actually liked it more than my very first batch I ever did of that. That was the first time I ever barrel aged, and I did it here recently, and came out very, very well. I love the way it came out. And then Ava, which we just released again here recently, has the unicorn on it.
Yep.
That's our peach cobbler.
Yeah.
It's a peach cider and honey base, and then in secondary it gets a treatment of heavy dose of vanilla and a small dose of Saigon cinnamon sticks. So,
is that one of your more popular ones, you would say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think
popular. So,
Well,
people enjoy that one.
have only been open for, you know, not even 6-7 months now. Have you had, you said this is the return of that one, have you had any that have gone on for more than 2 iterations yet?
No, I've not. We're trying to keep the flavors, rotating. There's always something different to come in and try. We'll repeat recipes, usually at least 12 months between them, but I try to keep other recipes coming in, other flavors, just different things to try.
How many of the flavors that you're producing commercially would you say you made on a regular basis as a home brewer?
Oh, all the ones we've put out besides the experimental batch I just did with Sour Patch Kids. So I'd never worked with fake flavors like the Sour Patch Kids before, but I was like, I want to play with this. So everything you've seen I've done before in a different version of it. But
Okay.
Always playing with them, get the recipes a little different, key them in where I want them to be.
So do you plan on doing like a series for all of your, not say all of your styles, but doing like you have the Killer Apple series? You plan on, and like the big boy, is that going to be like another series, or is this something you're kind of like playing with right now?
Yeah, all of our meads with maple will be part of the Big Boy series. We so far we've put out the blueberry blackberry maple, the blueberry barrel aged maple. We have one coming out. It's going to be a apricot and peach maple mead. Yep, that's exactly the bottle right there. But we play with different. We have a black currant maple. Any of our heavily fruited with maple meads will be part of the Big Boy series. And then the Killer Apple series is, is our cider base, and then we add different fruits to that. So,
do you guys have any plans on doing any traditionals?
we will do traditionals. I like the spring and early summer kind of honeys for my traditionals. So since we've opened in November, it wasn't really a good time to get traditionals going.
Gotcha.
I like the lighter colored traditionals. I don't really like the darker, more tannic kind of traditionals. So we were waiting for the honeys to be ready for the batches we wanted. So they'll be started here soon. May see maybe 6 to 8 months from now, see them come out. So
If regulations and time and money were no object, what would be like the ultimate mead you would make?
regulation times and money.
Yeah, no regulations, no money, just fair game across the board.
Super heavy black currant mead with meadow foam base. There's probably 3 different kinds of vanilla I put into it, and I probably come in with some Montmorency cherries in it too.
That sounds absolutely delicious. Holy cow! Sounds expensive.
You probably will see that one in the future. It just hasn't came out yet. So
Yeah, I know that meadow foam honey is difficult and rather pricey to find. So
yes.
man, The one I want to try is that Manuka Honey. That stuff sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I haven't made any meads with that yet, but it does sound very amazing. So.
And same with some Tupelo honey. I hear that is absolutely delicious as well.
I love Tupelo. Tupelo's great. I've worked with Tupelo several times. So.
Do you have any single varieties local to your area that you'd want to work with for a traditional?
Unfortunately, Ohio doesn't have many single varieties locally to Ohio. I mean, you have your wildflowers. You have a little bit of the apple blossom, but it's hard to get in bulk.
Sure.
So really and truly, Ohio. I love Ohio, but I'll do a traditional wildflower just because I am Ohio. I love Ohio, but just really for the quality of the honeys, Ohio has not produced any that I want to say. I'm looking forward to making a traditional out of it. I want to highlight their wildflower, but there's many honeys around the world that I want to also highlight too.
That is, I always love seeing the imported stuff from around the world. All I can think though is, man, that's got to be some seriously intense shipping charges for, I know some people are putting, 500, 600 up to a ton of honey in a batch. So plus, shipping charges, but thank you all for doing that and putting your time and effort in, because we all get to reap the benefits. It's amazing.
Luckily, there's a lot of good honey companies that are actually bringing some of it in, and they're doing quality control to make sure we're not getting some sugared down honey itself. So there's a few companies that help with bringing the honeys from other countries that help us a lot too. So there's also a lot of other good, in the United States, we have a lot of good honey producers. We're lucky to have as many good honey producers as we have, quality controls and testing. So.
Yeah, that's a huge thing that I was reading about and talking with some people about recently, is like adulterated honey entering the market, and all sorts of just not even honey products at all. It's corn syrup and these other things. I had no idea that it was that big of an issue, but man, it's really plaguing the industry as I've come to understand it.
Yeah, unfortunately, like anything when there's money involved, people find a way to trick the system, and there's people out there that are using other syrups to try to trick people into thinking it's honey and blending it into honey. But it's luckily a lot of if you're going to a good supplier, they do testing that show pollen counts and things like that show it is true honey and where the honey came from, and so we try to stick with those kind of suppliers.
That's a good way to go about it. So at the Meadery there, I follow you guys on social media and whatnot. You guys have some cool events you do, and you have like a painting and mead event that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we work with another local painting company. She brings in canvases and things like that, and she teaches the people how to paint while we give a board of our sample of a flight of our meads. And y'all, if they finish their flight while they're painting, they can also pick up other drinks while they're there, enjoy that. Play a little game while we're doing it, have a little fun. So
very cool. Do you guys have live music there as well?
We play a little bit of music, kind of keep it low key, keep the place calm, just kind of enjoy yourself where you can communicate. To me, I'm big on the community, so I want people to be able to talk to each other, enjoy each other, come together. I'm glad to see that starting to open back up where people can actually do that now. Yeah. But one of the things, I love mead and got me into it, but the other thing that got us into it is I've been big in the craft beverage community for a number of years, so I wanted to also bring another place people could come together and enjoy their drinks together.
Definitely. Do you guys get a lot of walk-in customers now that you're opening back up and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been picking up. Yeah, it's steadily picking up. So.
Are you guys on like a main strip area or like in a good part of town for foot traffic?
We don't get a lot of foot traffic. We're on the main drag in the city of Lebanon. It's a smaller town. It's population right around 25,000. Okay. But we're on the main shopping drag in the area, so people do stop in. We have one of the busiest restaurants just 2 doors down from us in the area, and a lot of people come in, what is mead? So we kind of educate people in the area, because it's, like I said, mead is new to the area. There's not many meaderies in our area. I think the closest one to us is about 60 miles. So kind of educating people on what mead is, getting them back into it, letting them learn.
Yeah, you guys are actually in a 60 miles is definitely a good stretch between meaderies, but in the grand scheme of meaderies, you guys are in a fairly concentrated area. You know, you guys have a lot. I mean, you just had the Sugar Belt Mead Festival. Was it 21, 22 meaderies from your guys' region all came together?
Oh yeah, it was organized by Manuka up in Crown Point, Indiana, and they did an amazing job. We had a lot of good meaderies there, a lot of great people. Brought a lot of the community together. I think there was right around 900 people who attended the event. And it was just a really nice event.
Yeah, it looked like everybody was having a blast from all the videos I saw. I definitely am trying to make it out there next year. Was it a successful event for you guys?
Oh yeah, the whole time my only complaint is I didn't get to talk much because I was so busy pouring people drinks. But that's it was nice to see people enjoying their stuff and having a good time, and also enjoying other meaderies at the same time.
Right. So if you were get to choose another meadery in the country, who would you go visit that you haven't been to before?
I really want to visit Honey Pot. I'm a huge fan. I guess I'd call myself a fanboy of them. One of my friends introduced me to Honey Pot Meads about 2 years ago, and ever since then, every time I can get a drink of Honey Pot Meadery, I've been getting it. But I've been lucky enough to try a lot of other meaderies on this side of the Mississippi, but I haven't been able to visit California yet. And I want to visit Lost Cause and Honey Pot and a few other places out there on the West Coast. But on the East Coast, there's a few other good ones that I've been lucky enough to already visit. So.
Gotcha. Well, you guys are now going to be in that collective of people on the East Coast meaderies that they get to, be lucky enough to visit, because you guys are going hard from what I understand. Your stuff is wildly popular. You get great reviews everywhere and great, admiration for your product. So you guys were kind enough to send me a selection of stuff here, and I've been absolutely dying to try something. So dealer's choice. What do you want me to give a shot here? What's the...
Start out with Pucker Up if you don't mind. It's the strawberry kiwi. It's got the clown on the label there. Yep.
Yeah. So describe we show that artwork off first real quick. Got the clown with the funky teeth and I love the color scheme. First of all, your guys' color schemes and everything. One question real quick. Every one of your labels has the color bars and stuff on it. Is that a choice that you guys made to keep those on there? Is that an artistic choice? Because I love that. I have a little bit of an art background, and I just think it's a unique add-on to the label.
Our artist really likes to do that. Just he shows the palette he uses on there. He likes to put that on all his labels, and I think that's kind of nice. It's nice to see that,
Yeah, it's for me. It's the little things that set things apart from everything else. That makes it really something special. So the Pucker Up. So what was the inspiration for this flavor? This is a strawberry kiwi. Is it a sweet? Are we going off dry? What are we doing here?
Technically it is a sweet mead, but when you try it, you're not going to get that overly sweet, overly barren, because the kiwi that is in this, one of the things I wanted to do was I like sour beers. I wanted to see how to get the sour taste into mead without using, lactobacillus and things like that. So I was like, let's play with the fruits, sourness and fruits. So this has the kiwi in this is actually a very, very tart, fresh kiwi. So it's got a very nice bite to it. Also a ton of fresh, we steam juiced our strawberries and the kiwis for this. Strawberry on it, you're going to get the fresh jam on the nose.
Yes.
When you taste it, you're going to get that bite from the kiwis. So.
Right on. One thing I'm going to not get is it on my floor because I forgot a glass. So give me 1 second here. I'd like to give a little shout out to my local cats here in Avondale, Arizona, the Scale and Feathers Meadery. Love these guys. All right, so here we go. Got the Pucker Up strawberry jam. Definitely heavy on the strawberry jam on the nose. Look at that deep, rich color in there, fully saturated. I'm going to be a glutton, to be honest with you. I love that. Holy cow. Yeah, definitely heavy on a strawberry jam note. Very, I want to say overly sugary, but you can definitely smell the sweetness in the strawberries. Woo! Man. Ooh. There's that Pucker Up, baby. Holy cow. I like that. Definitely full strawberry jam up front. Very, very full body. Cuts away that acidity in there is very nice. Follows up with that pucker there from the kiwi. It almost tastes like his cocktail leaning, like a Pucker's, you know, like it was a like one of those Pucker's. I don't know what they're, you know, the mix-in type of thing, but not in a negative way, but like it's ready to be, you know, have a little bit of whiskey or something poured in.
Oh yeah.
And be made into a cocktail. Sorry, I can't enunciate. I'm just really awkward.
Oh, you're good. Actually, I like to use beads in my cocktails, so I make a few cocktails myself.
Yeah, I think mead cocktails are really going to be the next wave of things going on. I know a lot of craft spirit cocktails are out there that are real big right now, but I think mead cocktails are definitely going to find their place.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is phenomenal. It's not overly, like, it's really heavy in the mouth. As soon as I put it in there, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like cloying and overly sweet, but it's not. It's just very, very full bodied, but it's not syrupy. How many pounds of fruit go into a batch of this? This has to be just like ridiculous.
Total there's 320 pounds of strawberries and 240 pounds of kiwis.
Holy. Is this one of your guys, either one of your personal favorites? This is really good. How many?
It's funny because my favorite from day to day can change. It just depends on really what my mood, my palate's like that day. Today I was really looking forward to this glass. So I wanted something nice and puckery, you know, something little, give me a little bite, but also give me that little bit of sweetness and burn from it.
And I like that I'm having it at, you know, just about room temperature, so I'm getting like that full puckering effect there, and it's got a nice astringency to it.
Mm-hmm.
It almost, like I said, it struck me at the beginning like this is going to be overly sweet, but it's really not. This is, man, you know what you're doing. Are you a competition friendly man? You go to a lot of competitions and take home medals?
I've never entered one competition.
Wow.
I think it's for everybody's. You know, everybody likes to do that stuff, and you know that's cool. And I've visited the competition, but I've just never entered. I've just been homebrewing and enjoying with my friends until we decided to open commercial. So,
got you. That's rad.
People have been talking to me about trying to do the competition thing. I just like I said, I just haven't really approached that area of the mead world yet.
Well, and then that Sugar Belt Festival was probably the first festival you guys have been to.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any more of those planned? Not necessarily currently planned, but you plan on going to more festivals, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah. Anytime we're invited, we love festivals. Like I said, I've been part of the craft beverage community for years. So
right.
Anybody that would be interested in having us would be more than happy to come out. So we're talking to a few places right now, but nothing is set in stone yet. So.
Okay. What about any collabs or anything? You got any collabs with any other meaderies or breweries in the area, say for like a Braggot or something?
We recently did one with Nano Dog up in Columbus. We're talking to a couple other places and going to get some things ironed out here soon. Get more details on their Instagram posts about those as they come to fruition. So. Okay.
Definitely keep your eyes out for that, everybody. Look for the posts. Definitely want to be stay informed. So follow these cats on all their social media. You got Dysfunctional Delights on Instagram, on Facebook. You guys on the Twitter machine? I'm not on Twitter.
We're on Twitter, just not as much as we were on our Instagram and Facebook. So.
Not as actively.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna make me look like a punk. So one of the things I did want to ask you about as well. You know what? Forget that. So you had mentioned that you had done a lot of your other, all your flavors as a home brewer prior to releasing them commercially, except for the experimental series, which is these guys, as I understand it, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So now these are experimental this is a number 5 sour lime gummies, and you had mentioned that you did sour Patch Kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically, it was just a base mead, and we took Sour Patch Kids, got them a little bit warm, put them in there, let them, where they're a little bit melty. Put them in there and let them soak for a little while and just see what was going to happen.
And
we ended up we have the all 5 flavors, the lemon, lime, red raspberry, blue raspberry, orange, and then we also did the sour watermelons because I love the sour watermelons.
Oh yeah.
Realize they are completely covered in a ton of citric acid. If you actually look at the bottles there, that's my one thing. It's like the citric acid, there's a ton of them in the bottom. If you look at the bottom, there's actually a layer of citric acid in a lot of them. So yeah, they are covered in a ton of citric acid. So you get a lot of that fake sour, from the citric acid in that. But they were fun. They were fun to play with. It's something interesting.
Does it stick true, do you think, to the Sour Patch Kids candy taste? Because those are definitely super heavy on the citric acid.
Oh yeah, you'll get the citric acid effect from that. Not like this pucker up where you get the kiwi. It's that acidic bite.
Which one of those was your favorite besides the watermelon?
The watermelon. My second favorite would be the blue raspberry, red raspberry, and then lime. I kind of like them all in their own way. The lemon came out the most tart. It's to me that seems like those had more acidity than the other ones. But
the lemon one did?
Yeah.
Let's give this red raspberry one a shot. I'm dying to try one pair of Meads. I always love trying. One of the things that I think from the homebrew community and people that are, I say, more freshly out of the homebrew community as opposed to people that have been doing commercially longer. You come in with a more experimental-based palate. You know what I mean? Like you do something like this. Do you guys have any plans on doing any say like savory flavors or any like herbals or methaglins or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll be coming out with more of those. And actually, one of the experiments I want to do is my father-in-law. We call it old man candy, but Werther's Originals. He loves them. I'm gonna experiment with the flavor with the butterscotch like that, but mix in a few different spices with it. Just play with the flavors of that, make basically an old man candy mead. So.
Old man candy.
Old man. Yeah.
All right, red raspberry Sour Patch. Ooh, that is unique. I don't know. It's definitely got the red raspberry to it. I would actually buy a bottle of that. I'd like a little more heavy on the raspberry flavor, but it tastes just like a red raspberry sour Patch Kid.
I was impressed with the flavor that came off, but I was kind of wondering what would happen. Like I said, I'd never worked with the gummy candy before. Yeah. It was just something I was like, I love Sour Patch Kids, so I was like, I'm going to try and see what happens with it. And I was impressed the way the flavor came off on it. So my only complaint is I wish there was a little more natural flavor to it, just to bring out some of the more red raspberry to it.
I guess that's what I mean. Like the last two raspberry ones I had were very like natural, full. And this is a little it tastes just like a Sour Patch. It's like a candied raspberry.
Yeah, It's artificial, but it's got good flavor. So
it does. It has a great flavor. It fits. The flavor fits the profile that you're going for. Is it something you think you'll do again? Is it going to be like the experimental batch series, or is it going to be like the sour gummy series? You're going to continue doing something like that? I think it's a great idea.
We've had enough good response from it. We'll probably will do larger batches of it. Like I said, I didn't want to do too large a batch right in the beginning, so that's why we do our experimental things. I didn't know. I really have never worked with this. I didn't know how it was going to come out. I want to wait a few months just to see how those bottles age, because I don't want to make a batch of it large until I know the bottles are going to be good a few months down the road. So it'll be something you'll probably see in 2022 from us coming out.
Are you, as you're releasing these batches and stuff, are you kind of setting stuff aside for say like a library program or something like that, maybe in the future, or at least for yourself?
Yeah, we try to hold a few bottles back for that kind of stuff, and also it's always good to have a few bottles back just to test in case something does happen. With all the safety precautions we take and all the cleaning precautions we take, there always can have mistakes happen, and we want to have a couple bottles behind to test for anything like that. So
definitely smart idea there on that part. Let's see here. I saw some pictures of the inside of your meadery. Looks like it's pretty wide open and very welcoming and kind of warming in there. You got a bunch of tables, some big TVs on the background. You guys have a game night that you do, or a game day, bring in some board games? And
yeah, we always have our board games out for us, and we're also we're gonna have some trivia nights and things like that. Right now we have seating. by the tables, we've limited to about 54. We're allowed to have up to 98, but this was, we kind of keep it open still because we don't know what's really happening with COVID yet. So
Gotcha.
we're trying to still stay safe and not bring in max capacity. But right now we have seating for 54 with the bar and the table seating.
Okay. Do you guys have a kitchen service there, or do you guys have like food trucks that come in? Is it BYO food or?
We have right now we have BYO food, and we also have some food truck nights and things like that. Eventually, we will have our kitchen. Unfortunately, the money for our kitchen kind of went towards keeping the place alive during COVID. So that was that was our step to it. Once we got the tap room open, was to open up the kitchen, but it's been set aside for the moment until we can catch back up.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys want to run and operate yourselves as well? Do you have like a culinary background?
Well, I will help with it, but my sister-in-law, she's been running kitchens for years. She will be running that for us.
Yeah.
We're gonna work together to develop the recipes to meet the flavor profiles of the meats we have at that time. So it'll kind of be an adjusting menu that'll change as our meats change.
So have you designed any of your meads to be paired with food, or have you guys done any mead food pairings or anything like that at your tasting room yet?
Currently, right now, we've just been doing like charcuterie kind of things. We haven't really paired a lot of the food stuff at home. As a home brewer, I've paired up with different kinds of, fish, seafood, steaks, different things like that with our different meats and different desserts. A lot of the current meats we have right now are more dessert style, so a lot of them are paired up with different desserts. Homemade ice creams, freshly made desserts, things like that. So.
Do you have a plan on doing like eventually, say further down the road, or even not so far down the road, a canning line and doing session meads? Those are,
we actually just started here recently as our session mead base. We're hoping in August to September to start releasing some of those. We're working on getting all the proper can steamers and things like that we can get them tested before we start releasing them, because we want to make sure we release a good product again. And since I've never used a can steamer, I want to make sure I can use it very well before I release it to the public.
Now, is a can steamer, is that one of the single can deals where it just seals one can at a time?
Yeah, we'll be doing that for a little while. Unfortunately, with our space and with money constraints, we won't be using a full canning line. And there's not really, for us, we consider ourselves pretty small batch. We have less than 5 barrel on each one of our, most of them are 2 barrel, but the other ones are 5 barrel. So renting a canning line wouldn't be really feasible to rent a canning line to bring it in to make it cost effective for the customers. So. Got you.
But you see yourself moving in a positive direction, at least, right? You're not closing your doors tomorrow or anything, are you?
Oh, no. We're still moving forward.
Excellent.
We're gonna go with the can steamer this time. Do them one at a time just to get them out there and get people trying them. And we also have kegs of those, and we'll be distributing it through the area too for more people to try and get more people into mead in the area. So.
Got you. You guys do local distribution yourselves, or do you guys have like regional distribution?
We were doing local distribution, but we recently signed on with Adina Distributing that we're going to take care of our distro in Ohio. And then we will be working with other distributors in other states in the near future. So we would love to be out to Arizona. So
and I would love to have you guys out here in Arizona. That would be amazing. So given that you guys are just now hitting all those marks and everything like that with the can steamer and everything, do you plan on releasing like a whole session line, or is it just going to be kind of like one-offs, or is it where do you plan on going with that? Because I think that's like I said, I think it's a hot.
We think we're going to continue that. Just it's nice to have something we can serve. Most of these meads are between 11 to 15%, so. It's not something you can come in, sit and have a full glass of and multiple glasses of. We'd like to have something, in the 5 to 7% range, which people can come in, sit down, and have a couple of drinks and still be, safe to travel on their own without, assistance.
Right.
Or so we wanted to we'll keep the session meads going once we get them started. And it's just we started off with the full-bodied meads in the beginning, and we'll be working to get the session meads out in the future.
So you're going out on the lake for a day. It's hot. And you're out there just chilling, and you only got room for 1 bottle with you. What are you bringing out there?
Oh man.
My wife is bringing. My wife would be bringing the blackberry killer apple.
Yeah.
I would be bringing the barrel aged killer apple pie.
Barrel aged.
She'd be mixing hers with some seltzer. She likes to mix the blackberry killer apple with seltzer, and on a hot day, I'd be drinking mine straight, maybe a little bit of bourbon.
Now, is that Killer Apple Pie series, like, is it a Cider base and then you flavor it differently for each one, or do you ferment them all differently, so to speak?
They are all the same cider base. We get our cider from actually southern Indiana, and they're all the same base. And then we blend in, and secondary, we blend in the fruits or spices to get the flavor profile we're looking for.
Okay, so are they made? They're made with cider then, not juice.
Made with cider. Yep.
Yeah.
Fresh pressed cider. Do you guys?
Fresh pressed cider with no preservatives and everything like that. We get it when they press it. We pick it up that day. It goes right to the batch that day. So.
Oh, so
we don't use any preservatives. Yeah.
That's about as fresh as you can get.
Yeah.
Yes.
Within 24 hours of apple's pressed, we have it in our fermenter. So.
Do you get most of your ingredients there locally or fresh as possible? I'm assuming, except for what's not available.
Anything I can get locally and fresh, I've worked with the local markets to get that. Some of the things we have to bring in frozen, or some of them get delivered fresh, but some of the fruits don't ship as well fresh, so we have to have them frozen and brought in.
So you have one that released, at least I think it was recently, called Chocolate Covered Barrel Full of Monkeys.
Yes.
How many bananas went into that, or was that like a banana concentrate?
No, there is 480 pounds of bananas in there. It was a mix between Cavendish bananas and the Gauche Miquel banana. It takes about 240 pounds of bananas. We steam juice the bananas to bring out the flavor and leave some of the proteins behind from the banana. It takes about 240 pounds to get 5 gallons of concentrated banana juice that we add.
Yes.
Yes.
Days.
Days and days of steam
Steaming.
juicing. But to me, when working with it, it's worth the process.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor that we get out of it, and we get a nice strong base flavor from the bananas that way, without going into the artificial flavoring.
And does that comes across like a true banana flavor, not like banana runts or something like that?
The Gauche Miquel actually comes like a banana runts flavor. The Gauche Miquel is actually the reason banana runts taste like that.
Oh.
So that banana is the banana they got the flavoring from for that Laffy Taffy and Ryles banana shakes. Have you ever had a Checkers or Ryles banana shake?
There's
the flavor profile from that. The reason they taste like that is because of the Gauche Miquel banana.
Okay.
Which used to be on the store shelves. That's used to be the banana before Chiquita took over with the Cavendish banana. That was the banana that was on the store shelves, but they unfortunately got a bacteria that turned the skins brown and didn't look good on the store market shelves anymore. So they started. That's when Chiquita took over the Cavendish banana that we're all used to seeing now. We all think that's the only banana that tastes like that. So.
This is a man who knows his bananas. People still don't fucking. May I ask how you know that? What intrigued you to learn that? That's amazing. I'm so happy that you know that.
Somebody introduced me to a lot of different bananas, and I kind of took off from there, going down the deep hole of looking into why these bananas aren't around anymore. If they taste like I love banana Laffy Taffy. If they taste like that, why aren't they on the store shelves anymore? That also led me to other different types of bananas, and it's pretty crazy. I always thought bananas didn't have seeds when I was a kid because I grew up with a regular Cavendish banana, but bananas are full of seeds and we're actually plumper, not as long. The banana we actually eat on the store shelves now they're all genetically identical. They're a clone of each other. They're not really grown from a seed. They're grown from the cloning process that they make all of our bananas because they're actually a genetic deformation. They made them long like that and seedless.
Got you. Holy cow. I love that. I have a slight produce background. I used to work in farmers markets and stuff like that, but I've never heard that about bananas, and I thought I knew a lot, but man, thank you for the education. That's absolutely wonderful. So given that knowledge that we all know now, so does it have that that banana runt taste and then a chocolate?
Yeah. Yes, it's you'll get that. It's not as quite like as sweet as like a banana runt, but you definitely get that flavor from the Gauche Miquel banana that actually will remind you of Laffy Taffy kind of thing.
That is amazing. I would love to try that one as well. You guys have so many unique flavors in the names too. Who comes up with the names for your flavors? Like Who Forgot the Cake?
The Who Forgot the Cake I was just sitting there we kind of just talk and shoot around ideas, and I was thinking, well, this is, Neapolitan ice cream is kind of the, when we went Nano Dog, we paired up with that with their brewery. It was like, I want something that's kind of Neapolitan inspired, but leave the strawberries on the back end of it where the vanilla and the chocolate stand out. And I was like, what about, let's leave like a kid at a party that somebody forgot the cake at as the label. And I was like, who forgot the cake? Let's leave it at that. You know?
The label is hilarious. As a kid, he's all like hunched down, got a balloon, he's all morose looking. It almost makes me feel bad, like I'm drinking this cake. Who forgot? Aw, but I like that. Man, the more I drink this, as it warms up, that jam flavor up front is amazing. It really tastes like you went to the state fair and picked up some strawberry jam. It's got the seed. Mm-hmm. Grandma just pulled it off her stove and pulled it out of the canning pot and like just right out of the water and just suck down, and here you go. Take it home and eat it. Man.
Yeah, we steam juice all of our strawberries, so you get a lot of that fresh strawberry taste from it. So that's where you're getting all that great jam from. Just like, when they make jam, they steam juice strawberries for that. So yeah, that's how we get our juice off for the strawberries there. So you get that fresh strawberry flavor. So
I remember many times helping my mom can jam and strawberries. I'm from Washington State, so strawberries was huge things that we would do. We would can those every autumn, and so Did you pick up any of that type of stuff from your mom or grandma or something like that, as far as like things to add into the recipes, tricks and tips?
Oh yeah, my grandma. I grew up. My dad loved to cook and do things. But so when he wasn't working and he was cooking, he would teach me things. And then my grandma Armentrout, she was an amazing cook. So I remember watching her around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and when I got to visit her, watching her play with different canning and things like that. And then I grew up in a smaller town, and our neighbor next door used to grow her own vegetables and fruits, and she had grapes and things and made her own applesauce. So I watched her do some canning things, and I'm also a fat kid, so I've always played with different ingredients and made different recipes. And so a lot of these recipes kind of think, what would I want to eat? So that's, I try to make a mead that tastes like that. So.
One of the flavors I saw in there that I haven't seen from anybody else, you get a lot of crossover flavors. I don't know if it's because everybody's got the same ideas or whatever, but you get your pies and your cobblers and stuff like that. But you guys have one called Almond Elation. It's like an almond joy flavored one.
Yes.
Is that one?
That one when in primary there was when I first came off primary, it was I had some coconut, toasted coconut in there, and the coconut right at the end of fermentation. I added those, the almonds. And when it first came off, it didn't have enough almond to it, so I set the primary mead back onto almonds for a few more months. And when it came off, the almond, I tripled the amount of almonds that was in it. And when it came off, it's seriously straight almond to your nose. It's almost like an amaretto. It's so much almond in it.
That's what I'm thinking about, baby. I love an amaretto. I'm dying to try that one, but I hope that one stays around for a while. Do you have all these on tap, or are they all bottled, or both?
Right now, they're all bottled. We probably won't be doing any of our full flavored on tap. Our sessions will be on our tap system. So.
Do you guys have anything on tap right now, or is it straight bottle pours?
It's straight from bottle pours.
Oh, okay. Do you guys have tap lines set up though for when that happens? When you have
yes, we have our tap lines. We have 6 tap lines set up right now for our session meads that'll be coming out.
So you don't keg any of your stuff. So everywhere that you're on as a guest tap is all bottle pours as well.
Right now is all bottle pours, yes.
Man, so you guys got it. When you're doing bottling parties, that's like got to be an all day, all weekend event. Holy cow!
A lot of times our family and friends will show up and spend a day. It's, usually an 8 to 12 hour day bottling and just enjoying each other and having drinks and.
Yep.
And you guys,
everything is hand bottled, so everything is bottled by hand, corked by hand, labeled by hand. So if you see it's not as straight as most labels on some. It might have been later in the day. I might have had a couple drinks. Sorry about that.
I love it. Again, that's another unique touch of personality and passion that you guys put into it. I love. You can tell that you guys put your heart and soul into your projects, and you want to be establish yourself as a pillar in your community. Have you gotten any negative feedback from anybody? Did you have anybody like protest or say, hey, we don't want a meadery on our block because, you guys do happen to live in a Bible area.
Like anywhere, there's always that person that's going to step out and, want to say something negative about it. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. We try to be an upstanding, good for the community. And most people are realizing, we are a craft beverage establishment. We're not a neighborhood bar that we're just trying to get people drunk at. We're trying to bring a new flavor to them, something else to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And people are starting to realize, we're more of a positive for the community. It's not a negative. A nice environment for adults to be able to come together in a safe environment, enjoy each other's company, enjoy another drink, and still leave with a stable on their feet. Not trying to drink as much as they possibly can. It's just enjoying the flavor more than trying to get yourself inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. You guys certainly impart some intensely strong flavors into your stuff here. Do you guys back sweeten to your target sweetness, or do you guys ferment dry and then back sweeten to do you back sweeten to your ferment?
It really,
You know what I'm trying to say here.
yeah, it really depends on the batch we're going for. The flavor profiles we're going for, I don't limit myself by saying I don't back sweeten. There's things that I'm going to add fruits to, so maybe a little bit of honey, even if it's not as sweet, if it comes off drier than I'd like it. I think you should play with your flavors as much as possibly can. Some things will, like all of our ciders, all of the apple and the honey and stuff is added right at the beginning. There's no apple added in the end. And then we play with, if we want to add a fruit to it or a spice to it, it's added at that point. But those finish from the start to finish, the finish on there, if it was just a straight killer apple, which we will release eventually, that is just complete primary fermentation, nothing added secondary.
Man, and that one comes out as full-bodied and full of characteristics as everything else is. You must put a ton of cider into your batches as well.
Oh yeah. It's like a 100% cider and honey. That's what goes in there. It's on that batch. It's right around, I think last time it was 63% cider and 37% honey in the primary.
Man, do you guys must tap out your local apiaries when you hit them?
We get as much as we can from different people. We usually, about every 2 months, it's about 2,000 pounds is what we're using of honey.
That is a phenomenal amount of honey, guys. I love that, but it comes through in your product. I mean, like I said, it's got a very full body to it, but it doesn't come across as cloying or anything like that. The flavor is there. You get the balance of the acidity, at least in this one. I got one.
Some that are a little sweeter. The Big Boy Blueberry Beatus is the sweetest you will drink of ours. There's about 10 pounds of blueberries per gallon in there, plus the maple syrup and the honey. So it is that one. I will tell you will be the sweetest one you will drink from, because it is very sweet. It's like blueberry maple syrup basically when you drink it. So
it's good on ice cream or something.
What's that?
Does it go good on like an ice cream dessert or something like that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I would eat it on my morning waffles.
All right. Well, I am dying to try. This is what, man. I'm dying. I gotta try it. I just have to. So, what made you choose Big Boy? Now he is a logo. If any viewers are watching, this Big Boy, if memory serves, was a burger stand from back in like the golden burger era and stuff like that. Oh, thank you. Fresh glass.
Yeah. When we first made that batch, I was talking to my buddy Greg Hendiger about it, and he was like, "Well, we should use the Big Boy, because at that time it was just homebrew." He's like, "Let's use the Big Boy with a stack of pancakes holding it up, because that's how he holds it up. It's a little tray with stack of pancakes on it." And I was like, "Man, that'd be awesome." So it was a homebrew batch. We stuck with the Big Boy. But as we went into commercial, we were, we can't put somebody else's logo on it. So I was like, "Well, we gotta change this up." So we looked at, Big Boy from Outcast, and then Big Boy from the burger chain, kind of mixed them up and then threw our own little pieces to it to make it our own label. That's how we came up with that one.
So you have the Beatdown, which was the boysenberry, right? No.
Beatdown is the blackberry, blueberry, and maple.
Yep. And then you have the blueberry. What's the next iteration going to be in this one?
The next one coming out is actually will be out here in probably next month or two. It's called Fuzzy Big Boy. It's peach, apricot, and maple.
And how did that one turn out? Or how is it coming along, I should say?
It's coming along. If you ever been to a place where they've had peach or apricot pancakes, it kind of reminds you a lot of that.
That is phenomenal. Mate, this smells like it should be sitting on the table at my local diner, like in a
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This one, like I said, it's very sweet. but it's exactly what we wanted it to taste like. It's like blueberry pancakes. So.
And it says aged in a whiskey barrel. Where'd you get that whiskey barrel at?
That was a Maker's Mark barrel.
From, like, straight from them, or did they?
We have a supplier here that helped me get that barrel.
Okay.
He goes and buys barrels by the truckload, and I told him I need fresh barrels, and he said, well, right now this is the freshest barrel I can get you. And so.
That is, I mean, I don't think if I had like 5,000 million watt candlelight lux lumen light, I could even see through that. I mean, that's like, that is phenomenal. Holy cow. You said there's 10 pounds of blueberries per gallon?
Per gallon. That's a 60 gallon batch, and there's about 600 pounds basically. So.
Is that are blueberries easy to deal with at post fermentation when you're cleaning everything up, or are they kind of one of the messier berries to work with?
Those were all, we took the 600 pounds of blueberries were all steam juiced into juice before you, and then added to fermentation. So
you have it.
Yeah, they were messy to mess with, but it was in our steam juicer, not in our fermenters. So they do like to try to change the color of the walls of the fermenter, but it does come off if you keep cleaning it.
Man, I like that. So, man, that is phenomenal. Holy cow. It starts off all tart like blueberry, and then you get the whiskey and the oaking in there. You said there's maple in this?
Yes.
How do you add your maple in there, might I ask? Because maple is one of the flavors that I come across that is very hit or miss for me, and this is phenomenal.
On that, you take your Vermont maple syrup, you get it, how I get it, and then I like to boil it down a little bit to get it a little thicker, get more of the flavor out of it without watering down. Because a lot of maple syrup has a lot of water in it. So if you boil it down to low temperature, get it to the viscosity I like, and then I add it to the mead basically in secondary. Just once it cools, I add it straight to the secondary and get the flavor in it. But boiling it down to get some more of the water out of it actually helps concentrate the maple flavor in there for you.
So it's not fermented at all, though. There's no ferment.
Yeah, the maple syrup is not fermented at all in there. That is the straight secondary addition.
Got you. Is there any of them that you do where you do ferment the maple?
I have fermented maple before. None of the commercial ones we released, I have not done a fermented maple yet.
Is there a reason for that, or
it's just not the flavor profile we've been looking for yet. Because when you ferment maple, it takes on a whole different character of the flavor of maple. It doesn't really come off as that Canadian maple people are looking for in pancakes. It more comes off as a spice than a sweetness of maple. Yes.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is ready to go. I agree with you 100%. Ready to go into a jar on your table, put on your pancakes or waffles, or I would love this on some some gelato or with some chocolate even. Man, mm-hmm. Are the super berry bombs one of your bigger selling items?
For people locally, no. People that are new to the mead market, they come in for the more tart things with more thinner base.
Oh, really?
They're not used to the sweet, berry bombs that people are looking for. In the mead community, is nationally, a lot of the berry bombs are real popular.
Right.
As far as locally, since we're a pretty new area for mead, people haven't been introduced to those types, so they prefer actually the less berry, more wine quality drinks.
Wow. I was not expecting to hear that, being that Shram say is in the regions there and some other cats that are known for doing the super berry heavy stuff. I would expect that to not be the case, but man, that's very cool. I like to hear
We're kind of like a little concentrated area that hasn't really been hit with them. I mean, we have them available, but most people haven't reached out to that sector of mead. So they're used to the, dry, when we say wine, because, we are a wine, as a mead, they come in thinking more of a dry wine, more of less tart, not as berry forward. So we're kind of introducing them into them. We will probably be releasing a few more drier meads here locally that won't be as popular nationally because people are looking for more of that berry bomb like everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I do like the fact that it seems like and I don't know if it's the right term, but like a necessary evil, so to speak. Like the berry bombs are really wonderful. I love a traditional. I love just, getting to taste the characters of the honey and the yeast and everything like that and come out. The berry bombs are phenomenal. This is what's going to get people, or, things like this are what's going to get people through your door so you can do your more artistic and your more passion projects and everything like that. It's catering to the different markets, and I think that's a smart call on your guys' part to do that. So kudos to you for playing into your market. You guys, we're coming up on an hour here. You got a couple more minutes, or?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So you offer a ton of varieties of flavor profiles. A lot of them, like you were saying, dessert based. You ever thought about doing like a Girl Scout cookie line of meads?
I have not thought about that, but in the future, just to play with it. I don't know what a Thin Mint would taste like, even though that's my favorite Girl Scout cookie, but I would have to play with the mint a little bit. I definitely would be experimental batches at the beginning to see what happens with that. For
sure, definitely. Do you guys go to any farmers markets there locally and sell your stuff?
Right now with the Ohio laws, they have to have certain licensings at the farmers market that most of them don't carry for wine. We have been to a couple of different festivals that did carry the license because it has to go through a nonprofit organization for us to be able to sell our meads at the events. So we haven't explored that yet because of the different licensing problems in Ohio.
Okay. So other than the headache of opening in the middle of the pandemic, what would you say to any up-and-coming people who want to open a commercial meadery? What was the biggest hurdle you had to jump across?
Oh, gosh.
Honestly, it was learning our equipment. I mean, going from homebrew, which, most of our batches are homebrew. I think my biggest homebrew batches were right around 30 gallons. Mm-hmm. And that was just kind of when I was trying to work at getting commercial. I was like, well, I better upsize some just to see what's going to be the problems here. But we went into our bigger equipment, which is, the 4.5 barrel system. It was just learning, what, as far as the steps we need to take for the fermentation and, the honey consistency, because it's not a straight line thing. There's a curve to it. So you have to figure out, how much honey, how much water, with your treatments to each one, the yeast and things like, your starters are much larger, but kind of had to learn how to use our equipment on a much larger scale.
Got you. And have you had any problems upscaling? Is there any recipes that just didn't upscale as much as you wanted it, or, as well as you wanted it to?
Well, actually, the barrel age right there you just tried, I did the non-barrel age version first. And when it first came across, when I done it in homebrew, it was like a berry bomb. When I did it on the larger scale, the first batch of it was good, but it just wasn't the berry bomb in the very first one it did. So people were a little bit like, hey, what happened to all the blueberries in this? Well, it wasn't. I was using it as a linear treatment, and it wasn't a linear treatment. I had to come in with more blueberries for that and things like that to get the flavor to come through.
Got you. Do you guys use sulfates or sorbates or anything like that?
On the big berry bombs like that, yes, there are sulfites in there.
Okay. And you guys aren't afraid to use sulfates, so you're not trying to stay away from that. It's more of a flavor by flavor basis, whatever it needs to be for that batch.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are very open-minded. We're trying to experiment with our flavors and things like that. If something is that highly concentrated, with sugars and berries, you're gonna want something to protect it so it doesn't explode on people's shelves.
Right.
So while sulfites, people, some people get headaches from them. That's why we put our warnings on our bottles. When it contains sulfites there. It's that way people can take the precautions for that, but we use them just to protect the bottles so it doesn't explode on somebody's shelves. It's more stable on the shelf for them. We don't use as heavy as some, but we definitely do put them in there so we don't have exploding bottles and things like that.
Yeah, I had a bottle of elderberry mead one time that painted the roof of my kitchen purple. I was completely not expecting it to go into re-fermentation, but those things happen. So definitely glad to see you're taking precautions there. Where do you guys stand with say pineapple on your pizza? Yes, no?
Oh yes, pineapple all day long.
Pineapple. Do you have a pineapple mead that you do?
Yes. We just did our Blissful Twilight, which was pineapple, coconut, and orange zest. And then I'll be making during homebrew, I make one called Let Them Eat the Cake. which is like pineapple upside down cake inspired. So I used baked pineapple in that with maraschino cherries and burnt brown sugar. And
Nice. That sounds phenomenal. Have you guys done any bouchées yet?
the bouchées we did a honey pear crisp was a bouché. But that's the only bouché we've done commercially. I've done them at home many times, but.
Is that something you want to continue to do, or is it? I mean, are you a fan of doing them, or are they just too like messy that you don't deal with it?
I love doing them. We'll continue to do them. Right now, the honey we got in, I hate to cook it because we've got some really good honeys in right now. I don't want to say bouchées ruin the quality of the honey, but they do take away a lot of the nose profile, the viscosity from. They change the flavor profile of the honey you're using. So I'm not going to say they're cheaper, but they're like, your fall or wintertime honeys that are a little darker, little things like that we use our bouchées with, just because of they do destroy some of the aromatics from the honey that we like to keep.
I got you. That makes perfect sense to me, man. You're trying to preserve the quality of your ingredients, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to fault you for that. That's a big plus and thumbs up for me. Are there any flavors that you've done as a home brewer that just you can't either justify or you can't translate over to a commercial?
Durian fruit, I will never do again.
Oh, okay.
It smells like a dead body and ruined my basement for many, many months.
It's funny because I've seen that question asked in a lot of like Facebook and Reddit forums and groups and stuff like that. So it really just torched your basement for a couple of months, huh?
Oh, it was bad. That was luckily before me and her got together, because she would have killed me if I would have done that at her house. But I had found some durian fruit, and I was like, this can't be as bad as everybody says it was. It was. It's the odor on that fruit is the flavor. If you can get past the odor, it actually does have a good flavor to it. But the odor is just too bad. People probably would not come to the Meadery if we made a durian meat.
Dude, I've never. What's the flavor profile on something like that?
I got kind of like a little bit of banana, kiwi, mango kind of texture to it in the flavor profile.
Okay.
So it was actually very sweet. I was surprised because the smell you wouldn't think it would be sweet but it actually has a very sweet, kind of like a mango, like melony kind of consistency.
Very cool. I will definitely keep my eyes out if I see one from somebody, but I'll be sure to stay away from their house if I know they're brewing one.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't open a bottle in your house if you find it. I'd take that to the park. Hey, I will definitely take your word at that. So as we're wrapping things up here and everything, is there anything coming up that you want everybody to know about? Any events coming up at the Meadery? Anything that people should be looking out for? We'll be doing, like I said, we have a few really good food trucks coming out. And then we're working right now. We have our black currant mead and our red currant mead's getting ready to come out. Probably we're looking in late July, early August for those. But I'm very excited with the process on those. We just had the steam juice, the black currants on that. It came out beautifully, and the smell and the nose on them is amazing. So I'm really excited to see the process when those come out. So.
Very cool. Any chance you're going to have bottle club slots opening up anytime soon?
Yes, we will. Right now, we're just still trying to remain small, but we'll probably open those up in early 2022.
Definitely be on the lookout for that, everybody. Those bottle club, I'm sure those are going to go quick. These guys, if you've done your research all around in all the Facebook groups and everything, you guys are wildly popular. Everybody speaks, like I said, highly of you guys. So so much for being here today. Is there any final parting words that you'd want to get across, or just visit your social media sites?
Yeah, just visit us on Facebook and Instagram, and I want to thank you for having us. It was very enjoyable. Look forward to doing it again in the future with you. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe I'll do a collab with somebody. We'll do a three-way talk with them. So.
Oh, I would see, and I'm always looking for new ideas. So I was having a couple different mead makers on there in the region and doing like a little powwow session, something. So definitely on board with that. And again, thank you so much for the lovely selection. I think I might stash this Ava away for. You think this one's gonna age well?
I think it'll age well, but I think you should definitely drink it. You'll enjoy that one. The peach cobbler is just amazing on that one. It's like peach cobbler and vanilla bean ice cream. I was impressed with this batch.
Well, I'll definitely go get some high quality vanilla bean ice cream and hit it up with that. Then at your advice. So,
get some vanilla bean cheesecake with it. Excellent. I'm telling you right now.
My wife make one. She's just made a cheesecake related thing the other day, so I'll have her make a vanilla cheesecake for that one. Vanilla bean cheesecake, and the Ava. Real quick, what inspired the design for this one? This is such a unique.
Actually, my buddy John's baby was born around the time the first batch I ever made of this was out, and I was to be nice to him. I used his daughter's name, which is Ava. And then when we were designing the label with it, I was working with Matt. And we were trying to find something good for him to design, and the unicorn and rainbows came out. She's still young. She's I think two now. Two now. So yeah. So we were like, oh, this is good for a little girl.
Yeah.
We might change this. We might change the label up in the future. It'll always be called Ava, but we might change the label up in the future just because there are some states that really don't like anything childish on the labels. Just so we might have a little change of that if we move into some of those states.
But the TTB approved that one, didn't they?
Oh yeah, the TTB did. It's as far as it'd be a state regulation. There's certain states that we can't ship to this bottle because of the child reference to any children's kind of thing, which has a logo for a unicorn. So.
Interesting.
It would have to be more adult-oriented to go to those certain states.
I can assure you that that's not the case here in Arizona because I've never even heard of some label.
No, it's not. It's not a problem with Arizona. I was actually informed by another mead maker of the issue, and that was very interesting when I started looking into it. How much they do deny coming into their state because of the any kind of child toy reference.
Nothing I hate more than bureaucracy coming between or mead, man. Red tape is the devil, man.
Yeah.
All that nonsense.
We love the label. We'll probably keep it for a long time, but if we move into that market, we'll have to have another label that goes to that state. So.
And that's the thing, but do what you got to do. Again, it's just unnecessary bureaucracy where it doesn't need to be, which is a shame. So.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's one more question. I'll end off. And I'll let you guys go. I've taken up so much of your time today. Who is somebody you think I should reach out to for a next interview that you guys would like to see an interview with?
If you talk to Pairings yet down in Florida, they're very good. Or if you haven't talked to Manic with Tony, he's amazing. He's an amazing person, really knowledgeable. Aaron's Bone Flower. You got Maniacal up in Michigan. And I could sit here and name people. Seba down in Florida. They're great people down there.
Okay.
I could really give you probably a good 20 people that I actually admire their work from. And I think it would be very good for you to talk to each one of them.
Definitely.
But yeah, I would definitely reach out to them. Alex out at Honeypot, of course. I know he's huge, but he's makes amazing meats too. So if you ever get Ken Schramm or James Nagier up in Schramm's or Allison Schramm, they also amazing products. So.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy an interview with Allison. She's seems like a very cool person. I've had a few handful of interactions with her, so I think that would be a phenomenal thing as well.
She's a very knowledgeable, very great person. So.
Yes, definitely huge on supporting the mead community and bringing the community up as a whole and everything like that. So
yes, sir.
I will take your advice and reach out to some of those cats as well. So thank you all for being here with me today. Everybody go follow these guys on their social media pages. Dysfunctional Delights on Facebook, Dysfunctional Delights on Instagram, dysfunctionaldelights.com, I believe, for the website. Order up some Vino Shipper. Let's blow out their store, empty their shelves, and make them just absolutely appalled that they have to make.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys have a great evening.
You too.